Hello everyone and welcome to class of Route 53. Today in this class we are going to discuss about health check in Route Amazon Route 53. So Amazon Route 53 health check monitor the health of the user resources such as web servers and email servers. So user can optionally configure CloudWatch alarms for their health check so that they can receive notification. So how it works, let's understand. So this is Route 53 and health check procedure. So very first step, that means a user opens a web browser and enters www.example.com in the address bar and then press enter. Press enter. Now it has to check. Route 53 has to perform a health check. So very first step, that it will request the endpoint and get a positive response. That means your system is working effectively. So if you are sending a request and you are getting no response from the endpoint, that means here in this case, we can see here in this case number 3, it has Amazon CloudWatch alarm. So we require to receive a notification for this whenever it is not working properly. So we have Amazon SNS topic, which is forwarded to the various recipients. This is how health check works in Amazon Route 53. That means to create a health check, we can specify value. How? First of all, we need to specify IP address or domain name of the endpoint, such as any web server that Amazon Route 53 has to monitor. It has to specify protocol to perform the check like HTTP, HTTPS or TCP. It has to specify how often user want to send a request to the endpoint. This is known as request interval. We can also monitor the status of other health check or CloudWatch alarm. After that, we need to specify how many consecutive times the endpoint must fail to respond when it is unhealthy. This we call as failure threshold. We need to specify how user want to be notified when Amazon Route 53 detects the endpoint is unhealthy. So very first step, Amazon Route 53 starts to send requests to the endpoint at the interval that user specified in the health check. Suppose if the endpoint responds to the request, Amazon Route 53 considered the endpoint to be healthy and takes no action. Suppose if endpoint doesn't respond to request, Amazon Route 53 start to count the number of consecutive requests. If count reaches the value the user specified for the failure threshold, it considers the endpoint to be healthy. So if endpoint start to respond again before the counter reaches the failover threshold, it resets the count to 0 and does not show any notification. If Amazon Route 53 consider the endpoint unhealthy and if user configured notification for the health check, it notifies CloudWatch to create an alarm. If the user configured notification for the health check, CloudWatch triggers an alarm and uses SNS to send notification. So how we can access Route 53? We can access through AWS Management Console because it provides a web interface that can be used to access AWS services. We can use with the help of command line interface. It is an open source built on the top of software development kits for Python that provides commands for interacting with various services. Software development kits, it provides the software tool to develop web application using different programming languages. Route 53 API, it provides programming language which is not available in AWS software development kit. We have AWS tools for Windows PowerShell. It enables user to script operations on their AWS resources for their PowerShell command line. PowerShell modules are built on the functionality exposed by AWS SDKs for .NET. Amazon Route 53 integrates with IAM, which is Identity and Access Management, and it provides services like create users and groups under AWS account. We can have easily sharing of resources among users in account. We can assign unique security credentials and it is granular control access to services. For example, user can use IAM with Route 53 to control which user in AWS account can create a new hosted zone or change record sets. IAM and Route 53 use two features to provide security to users. First is authentication and access control. Authentication. If you are using Amazon Route 53 console, you authenticate your identity by providing username and password. If you are accessing Amazon Route 53 programmatically, your application authenticates your identity for you by using access keys or by using sign-in request. That means to authenticate AWS user who is performing various operations such as registering a domain or updating, in access control, if you are an account administrator, you can use IAM to control access of other users to the resources which are associated with your account. It controls access to AWS by verifying that user has permission to perform operations and to access to your resources. So this is about Amazon Route 53 in which we have discussed about health checks and security. Thank you so much.